are a Delhi girl. How did Bollywood happen?
I think that Chitrahar ruined my life. I always say this. As a child, I was obsessed with Chitrahar and Super Hit Mukabla. So we didn't have cable because my father and mother used to be like, you watch too much TV, so you won't do your homework if we have cable. So my whole life's existence was centered around Chitrahar, and I wanted to be in Chitrahar someday. So that's literally what happened. Like I finished, I went to, like I studied in Delhi, so I went to Miranda House and then I went to JNU. And in my last year of JNU, I kind of pretty much decided that I want to go to Bombay. Because I just thought that if I don't do this now, then I'll never do this. I'll never have a chance to, do this. Because, being an actress is, you have a very limited shelf life. So if you have to try it and whether you fail, whether you succeed, but that trial period is, till you're looking young and, till your real age is not showing.
You went to JNU, and when you wanted to become an actor, how did your other intellectual master's students react?
Well, my friends were like a bit like, what? Like for the longest time, everyone was like, what? Like you? Because I was like the biggest jalli in class. Like I was the one person who must have like never worn makeup or never like, we used to literally be in like phate hue jeans and kota and jhola, and that was like, that was our cool like self. So yeah, everyone was, and a lot of people were just like, they didn't believe it, or they couldn't believe like it was me, or they were like, haan, wapas aa jayegi. So yeah, I think even my parents for a very long time were just like, okay, it's just she's going to come back, like 1-2 saal mein aa jayegi wapas. And I think my parents, only after Ranjana released, that my parents kind of like, well, okay, like yeah, this is a serious thing. She's there to stay.
So how was your conversation with your parents, and are they into the arts, or are they Bollywood buffs?
No, my parents are both, my mother's an academic, she's a professor, and she in fact teaches in JNU now. She teaches cinema studies, but for the longest time she taught literature in Delhi University. My dad is retired from the Indian Navy, he's a defense analyst, so no connection to the films. And they were stunned when I told them. They were absolutely like, they did not know what had hit them. Because it was like totally out of the blue. Like till then I was studying to go take my GRE. So there was like no plan to come to, and there was no inkling also. It's not like I'd ever talked about, ki, hi, I really want to be in the films. And it was totally bizarre. So for them, they were just like, where has this come from? And I mean, they didn't say no, but they were very scared. And my mother was actually still a little chill. My dad was not terrified. And I remember the next day of telling them this, there was like this long paper in the articles about some sting operation and casting couch. So my father has like looked at, there's a whole full page in the paper. So my father has like taken that and in red ink written, Swara, please read, please see this. And he stuck it on my bathroom mirror. So poor thing, it was quite, they were pretty shocked. So but they were very sweet, they didn't stop me. So
you told your parents you're moving, and then boom, you were in Mumbai.
Then I was literally in Bombay, and it was like that scene from the films where, and a friend of mine and me had come together. She'd gotten a job in Bombay with a very well-known human rights lawyer, Teesta Setalwad. So both of us had come by the train, and we landed at Mumbai Central with like our bags, and my parents had like packed. Like I think my parents thought this girl's never getting married, so all my शादी में जैसे भेजते हैं ना लड़की को बर्तन and कपड़े and like बिस्तर and everything. So we like landed with like tons of luggage, and we're standing in front of VT, which is now CST, like an iconic station in Bombay. And the first thing, if you're not from Bombay, that hits you about Bombay is like Kali Pili taxis. So it's that iconic shot from the films, जैसे लोग नए गांव के लोग पहुंचे बड़े शहर में. So we're like looking around. So it was kind of cool. So yeah, it was absolutely starting from scratch. I knew one person in the industry that was an assistant director. And for anyone who knows media, knows that an assistant director is not a very great reference to have necessarily. They're themselves, bichara, quite low down the hierarchy of a film set. So that's it. And then my mother knew Anjum Rajabali, the writer, who is of course a more respectable and a better contact. So between my sad list of contacts from my AD friend and from Anjum sir, I kind of began to just meet people, and that's it. I just started doing the audition route, and like it was just literally the boring, slow, long route of doing auditions and meeting people and landing work.
So how many auditions, how much of networking led to Madhulal Keep Walking?
So actually Madhulal Keep Walking was not my first shoot. My first film was another film which hasn't released yet, and I got that 3 months into my coming to Bombay. And it was very funny. I got it because the same AD friend of mine, Ravinder, he was not well, so he had to return the script. So I told him, listen, let me return it for you, you're not well. And in the auto, I was stuck in the traffic, so I just read the script in the auto. And I was like, hey, maybe this guy's casting. So I took the director's email ID, which was on the script down, And I just emailed him in the night and he told me, okay, call me on this number at this time. So I called him the next day and the first question he asked me was, where are you from? And I read the script. So the script was set in Bihar and I have like roots in Bihar. My mom's side of the family is from Bihar. So I just like took a chance and I kind of told a small white lie or half lie. And I was like, I'm from Bihar. And he was like, oh, have you been there? And I'd never been to Bihar. And I was like, yeah, of course, we have family there. And then he was like, okay, come and meet me on this date and I'll send you an audition sheet. So that's how I actually got my first film. Madhula, I'll Keep Walking was my second shoot. And it was again from someone who was on this film recommended me. Bombay is like a spider web, you know, you do one thing and there's like thousands of like, you know, like little threads that will connect you to like 1,000 other places. But it was really Tanuwad's Manu, which came out in 2011, the first one. That became my like break officially.
So you won 5 awards in a matter of 7 years?
Yeah, 6.5 years.
How?
I don't know, I just like, it was just like I think I was lucky to land like good parts, well-written parts and in films that turned out well. So yeah, I got awards for my roles in Tanuwad's Manu, in Ranjana and Nilbate. And one of the awards for Nilbate was in China. So I felt very pleased. I said, if you can melt the heart of the Chinese, then you really must have done something good.
Exactly. So, now, Nilbate, you played a mother of a teenage girl.
Yes.
You being in your 20s yourself. Yes. How did you manage doing that?
Nilbate was nuts. It was pretty hard. And I'm so glad I agreed to the film because like you know, when it was offered to me and Ashwini was pitching it to me, I was thinking that she's offering me the Beti's part. So I was like feeling very pleased with myself that, oh, I'm so young, I look like a 15-year-old. And at the end of the film, she's like, no, it's the mother. And I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, what is wrong with this woman? Do I look like an auntie to her? But I'm so glad I did it. Ashwini's first thing was that, look, you look too young, so you have to put on weight, which was fine because I love eating. So I just ate and ate and ate and just stopped exercising and became like a nice rolu polu. Then of course the real challenge was, I mean, more than age, I think the challenge is always playing experience. So to play a mother and not just any mother but a mother to a teenager. So that was kind of like, you know, and I mean it was hard because when you're playing an age group younger to yourself, you have some experience to fall back on. You have some memory to go into. But if I have a child today, I will not know for 15 years what it is like to be the mother to a 15-year-old. So that part was a challenging part. So I did like, yeah, I actually interviewed my own mother to kind of understand what it feels like. And then of course I went to Agra and met a lot of maids and stuff. So it was kind of, it was kind of like a mishmash of building it all up based on all different kinds of research. But I'm glad it worked out well.
2 questions. How many kilos did you put on to become a mother?
I think about 8.
8?
And I don't think I've lost it yet, all of it.
All right. So, and what is the most interesting research that you gathered on what it takes to be a teenage mother?
I think I realized that, you know, parents, like our bichare parents, they are like basically victims because that bond is like that emotional bond is located in biology. So parents can't help it. Even if their child is a piece of they will still love it, you know, because that is the biological nature of that emotion. So it was very interesting for me when I spoke to my mother, first of all, there was a litany of complaints about how much I troubled her and how horrible I was and so on. But then when she was like talking, it was very interesting to realize that, yaar, ye bichare, ye to, matlab, parents are like stuck with that love, you know, you can't do anything about it. And that's something that I don't think until you're a parent, you ever know what it means like. You know, you never know. Because even if you may be very much in love with your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, but it's still not, it's not a biological bond. So that was like one big like lesson for me.
Reports suggest that during Prem Ratan Dhan Payo you became besties with Sonam Kapoor. Is that true?
Well, Sonam and I actually met on the shoot of Ranjana. And it was, that's how we became friends. And yes, it was great to do Prem Ratan together because we got to spend lots of time together. And so yeah, she's a very dear friend of mine and a very close friend. And I think she's an amazing person. I'm very, very fond of Sonam. And she's been a great friend.
And how was it playing Salman's sister?
Horrible. No, it was fine. It was fine. It was great working with Salman and in that whole setup actually with, you know, it was great doing a Sooraj Barjatya film with Salman Khan because there's just so much legacy to that combination and it was great fun. It was a very happy set. I think Salman sir is a very, very entertaining and fun person to be around and I used to be very excited. I used to just keep watching him and in the middle I used to just be like, sometimes when he used to say something, I used to be like, excuse me, I'm hanging out with Salman Khan, okay? And he'd just be like, and I'd keep referring to him as Salman Khan, you know? Like, I'm sitting having lunch with Salman Khan and he'd be like, I am Salman Khan. So I'd be like, yes, but you know, I'm like looking at it from outside. Yes. So it was really exciting, and oftentimes I would have this, like, you know, kind of this deja vu feeling of, not deja vu, but like this experience, an out of body experience, like where I'm like looking at this whole set situation and I'm thinking to myself, I am literally living the dream of, like, I don't know how many lakhs of people right now in India. Like, I think the entire cine-going population of this country. I'm standing on a set between Salman Khan and Sooraj Barjatya and looking at all these hathi, ghola, palki, and like this is what, you know, Indian audiences' dreams are made out of. So it was really fun. And Sooraj sir was a great, like, it was amazing working with Sooraj Barjatya. I had a great time on Prem Ratan.
But it's so exciting that that you cracked the formula, while there's so many people in Mumbai who come with dreams of becoming an actor and don't reach anywhere. So what advice do you have for them?
I think that I've been kind of lucky. I think it's been very lucky that I've had the opportunity to work in big commercial films like Ranjana and Tanu as Manu and Prem Ratan, and yet do also my own kind of content high films like Nilbati Sanata and Anarkali Ovara. It's been really lucky to be able to have this balance. I think it's a combination of good luck and I guess choices, and also the fact that those films turned out well. I mean, Anarkali was a very risky project when I took it on. It was a new director, an independent producer. A lot of people told me, don't touch it, because, you know, it's also, it's the story of an orchestra party singer. It's a very thin line between being, you know, double meaning and bawdy, raunchy, and actually going sleazy. And I'm really glad to say we were able to keep it on the raunchy side without it becoming vulgar. But it could have gone wrong, I suppose. So I guess there is some, I mean, and though of course we had a very credible team around it, so it would not have gone wrong. But still, you know, you never know. So I think that it's partly a mixture of decisions and also good luck. That story about Vikramaditya and Betal, that ghost who would come at the end of every story and get back on the king's back. So that I'm that ghost. And Ananda is that poor Vikramaditya. So that's our relationship.